Hello and welcome to the Pitstop podcast. I'm Jaco van der Merwe, joined by Mark Jones, Shoal Bosch. There seems, gentlemen, not many weeks goes past without discussing Chinese vehicles. And it's hardly surprising anymore. This week, an old favorite, not one of the 10 million sub-brands it seems to spawn every week, is the Chery Tiggo 8. Remember, not long ago, it was 4 years exactly, Chery came back with first the 4, then the 7, then the 8. Now we've had the Cross and the 9 and so many little things that the 8 is already being updated.
Yes.
Shoal, when and how and what?
Right, so it was revealed in China but 2 weeks ago, somewhere in China. And there's an interesting thing about that Tiggo 8 Pro. Tiggo 8 as it's simply called.
The Pro's gone.
The Pro's bit's gone. So
it's amateur now.
Yeah. It's going to be sold with 2 front fascia designs. However, there's a little caveat to that. When you look at the one specific fascia design that's going to be offered in China, it is exactly the same as one of Chery's sub-brands, Lepus, soon to launch Lepus. So this one face is actually just the Lepus L8, which is going to be the flagship of the
funnily
Lepus
enough,
range.
the Lepus isn't going to be sold in China. It's just for export markets.
So that's why they'll be able to give it the Lepus face.
Yes.
And bring it here
Yeah.
as something different, which is typically Chinese, because how to confuse everybody is just put badges and fascias on cars and don't sell them there, but sell them here, then sell them there, not here. It's
So just for
crazy.
a little bit of perspective, in China, Chery doesn't sell the Jaiku or Omoda brands at all in China. It does the Omoda C9 is an Exceed because that's their ultra luxury combustion engine plug-in hybrid brand, if you like. So the Omoda C5 and the Jaiku J7 are sold as Cherys in China. So it's basically just to capture the export market. And we know that the newly launched iCar brand, or iCore as it's called here, some of their products are also sold as Cherys in China. So it's all confusing.
Well, before we run away now and confusing ourselves, let's get back to the Tiggo 8. Mm-hmm. So what's changed? Start from the face.
They only showed the pictures that we were shown was only off the front and the rear. We have no idea what it looks like inside. There was no interior images released. It's got a much more striking front end. The rear end has been completely redesigned. We've got no idea what engines there are going to be underneath the bonnet. You can probably hazard a guess it's going to be the same as we have, maybe refined versions of the current 1.6 and 2 litre petrol engines, and there's probably going to be all-wheel drive offered and plug-in hybrids at some stage
course,
as well under
that seems to be the new Chinese thing.
CSH brand. Was it Chery Hybrid?
Chery Super Hybrid
Yes.
and Jaiku Super Hybrid system.
Super Hybrid system,
Same
yeah.
thing.
But it's their drive for new energy vehicles. I mean, recently in our inboxes, that's all you're finding is new energy vehicles, new energy vehicles. I mean, the plug-in hybrid stuff, the hybrids and plug-in hybrids are the fastest growing segments in the world. So, I mean, they should play there. And let's be honest, if you take the Tiggo Cross, look what they did with that.
Yes.
As a hybrid, not even a plug-in hybrid versus the Corolla Cross, which is kind of still lethargic compared to that little 150 kilowatt Chery Cross, same car, and you've got to go, wow, their battery technology seems to be right up there.
Yeah.
With the little bit they have, they do a lot.
They do.
This time around, Tiggo 8 though, not Chery's flagship anymore,
No.
because the 9 has joined since.
Yes.
So they also recently got a hybrid, the 8,
Yes.
but that's now still an 8 Pro.
That's still an 8 Pro,
8
yes.
Pro
Yeah.
hybrid, but
Yes.
the new ones won't have the Pro anymore.
No, the new one. So you have to remember that the Tiggo 8 Pro, let's call it the Tiggo 8 Pro as we know it, has been on sale in China since 2017. So it's quite an old product, and it only seats 5 there. There's specific body versions and so on available there. So the Tiggo Pro in South Africa seats 7. This new Tiggo 8 minus the Pro designation is a 5-seater.
Because the 9 is now the 7-seater.
Correct, exactly. So we know
Or the 8 will get a Pro badge in the future and get 7 seats.
It might do. It might do.
No,
You never know.
You
never know.
You never know. Exactly.
You never know. It changes that with the Chinese. I mean, the cars are. They literally launch a car within a year, and then a couple of months later, bam, it's updated. Whether it's a new infotainment system, whether it's a new color, whether it's everything. The progress there is that it's phenomenal how quickly they go. With this one, it's quite surprising that they took so long, to be honest, to update it. But when I say updated, it's brand new. So it's the wheelbase is longer. It's a completely brand new vehicle. So it hasn't been confirmed for South Africa, but indirectly it has been approved via the Lepus brand. It's coming with, and Lepus will be...
Now Lepus saying they're coming before the end of the year.
Yes.
And initially, they were talking April when we were over there, it could be only the L8. It's going to be L4, L6 and L8. They said they're starting with the 8 because they showed an 8 there. They said they're going into production soon. Now it looks like an 8 and a 4.
Yes, 8 and 4.
Range with just the 6.
Coming next.
I mean, they don't play around, Mark. When they come in with something, they come full force.
Yeah, I think cannibalization is not a word in China.
No.
Not only do
Don't
they
say
bring...
dog eat dog, please.
Oh, no, we won't go there.
Edit that out.
Yeah, not only do they do 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 in one brand. You got a Motor Jaku bringing the same cars. Now you got Lepus bringing the same cars, and an L4 I assume is going to be a Chery Tiggo 4.
It's going to be a Chery Cross. A Cross, yeah.
The bottom line is they're not scared of just bringing, and I think we've said this before as well, is it's not only about cannibalizing each other. They're happy to grow their footprint as a Chinese
as a group
of Chinese people. It's about honesty, and I don't mean that it's hurting the legacy brands. Every sale of you get of an L4 or a Tiggo 4 or that 4 or this 4 is a sale that's coming out of a VW showroom, a Hyundai Kia showroom. Those guys are having to really come with better pricing, try and get better product. But we know the Germans and the Koreans by default are slow to react. You sit with a car that comes and stays here 4 years and you say, I want a change in the touchscreen, and nobody can help you. Within 3 months, a Chinese brand brings you a whole new touchscreen and a whole new configuration. It's they're just not competitive at the moment when it comes to product renewal.
And if you look at also, when we said this before, and people are always criticizing, rebadging, it's here to stay, because developing the new car is expensive. We all know that. If you can use, I don't want to call it a recycled, but if you can use a platform already in existence, engines, drivetrains, whatever, in existence, and just remodel the exterior a little bit, the average buyer will see it as a completely different vehicle. He doesn't see, when you put a Moda C5 and a Chery Tiggo 7 next to each other, uses the same engine, uses the same platform, but the body is different.
But I think that's
the same with Lepus.
I think that's the crux here, is that while that continues to happen, that perception, you must remember, we're talking from this position of thinking we know everything and we deal with everything. But the guy in the street who's looking to buy a nice new car, he sees a Lepus and he goes, wow.
Yeah.
And he goes and buys he buys on that wow. Meanwhile, back at the garage, we go, oh, come on, dude, that's just a Tiggo Cross or a...
It's just rebadging.
It's just rebadged. And he's like, he's not interested. He's got a different car. And while that continues, they will sell. They'll attract, and that's their game, is they'll attract new people into that brand who like that styling. And they're not going to argue. I mean, people go, but a Renault's a Nissan these days, and a Nissan's a Mitsubishi, and a Mitsubishi's a this, and a that.
And an Amarok is a Ranger.
And an Amarok's a Ranger, yeah. And it just doesn't stop. So I think they've got a good formula in terms of bringing these Tiggo, especially Tiggo's got such a good name in South Africa.
Yes.
I'd put a Tiggo badge on anything Chery brings and it would sell. So, I mean, we saw Tiggo 2.
Yes.
Yeah, in China. Tiggo 2 when we're there. I mean, wait till that little thing comes.
Yeah, so here's the little the snack. It's not only going to be two. It's going to be a 1, a 2, and a 3. And it's going to be Chery. It's going to be Lepus. It's going to be Jaku. It's going to be a Moda. It's going to be all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of them. So we're talking about 7s and 8s and 9s and whatever. Oh, we haven't even started.
No.
They are coming through in droves.
Yeah.
And that's where the damage is going to be done. You know, at 8 and 9, it's R1 million, give or take, a vehicle. It's high-end stuff. They're still battling there with market penetration. It's not as, I mean, you've got to spend R1 million, you can buy a lot of car for R1 million.
Yeah, from a legacy brand, a lot.
Yes, a lot. You know, you can have double cab buckies or whatever you want. But 3s, 4s, 2s, 1s, the 350 below, and that, man, they are really, really stirring the market up and making a killing.
Absolutely.
Yes. So yeah, once we hear more about the Tiggo 8 without the Pro, please tune in again and we'll bring you up to speed. Both these gentlemen are hopefully going to China in a few weeks.
Yes.
As guests of that particular brand. So yeah, we hope to bring you up to speed soon. Hopefully they maybe see a Tiggo 0 there or some -1, I don't know. Let's
1.5.
yeah, let's
1.35.
Let's see. You never know. Either way, thank you for listening to Pitstop this week. Cheers.